Welcome to tonight's 5 on 5. The guest is Simon Hare, Josephine County Commissioner. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's start. It's a difficult time in Josephine County right now with budget issues. What are some of the ideas that maybe are getting kick-started, and how can they help?
Well, the first thing is we have a ballot measure coming up on the 21st, but that's really not a long-term solution. Really what we're looking at for a long-term solution is in part based on something we used to do in the past very well, which is trees. We used to manage forests, and we might not have done a very good job in the past, but the plans of the future actually would enable us to have a revenue stream that would provide for things like law enforcement and vital services at the county level. So we're looking at that, managing the forest lands that the county has in a better way. And so in partnership, probably try to put Josephine County back on track.
You mentioned in the past a little bit how they were mismanaged, but now today, are the forests around there healthy enough, and can they be, can the timber industry also be eco-friendly in a way? Well,
actually, whether or not the forest is healthy is kind of up for debate. A lot of people would say that it's overstocked and it's very prone to fire and even disease. And so some of the plans that are on the books would call for management, maybe just thinning and some other things that would reduce the amount of bug infestation and susceptibility to fires, reduce those fuel loads underneath the existing forests, and provide for just a healthier ecology and a healthier community based on those shared receipts that we used to get.
So there's an understanding that in the past it was, but to not touch it at all is actually, some people would say it was hurting it and now has hurt the community.
Right, it goes the other way, and oftentimes you see that in politics, that things go to extremes and really not to the benefit of either party, you know, not to the benefit of the forests or the people in these rural communities. And so Josephine County is no different. There's 18 ONC counties, and we're looking for that balance somewhere in the middle of maybe not the extreme of the past and not the extreme of the present, in that we are not harvesting trees on public lands hardly at all anymore. So there's a campaign out there called Healthy Communities, or Healthy Forests, Healthy Communities, and it's geared around the idea of putting people in touch with their legislators, and this concept of kind of a new ecology, a better management style to kind of lead us into the future. Something sustainable, something that we can bank on for maybe generations.
All right, a few more questions for you, so stick around. More 5 on 5 right after the break. Welcome back to the 5 on 5. The guest is Simon Hare, Josephine County Commissioner. We've been talking about the measures in place to try to return the timber industry to Josephine County, how it can help and help the forest. What are some of the obstacles right now in the way, and what are some of the things being done to kind of get those ideas going?
Well, some of the obstacles have been some of the legislation of the past that was there to do protections, much needed for our forests, but some would say that they probably went a little bit too far, and that they've restricted the ability to manage our forests in a sustainable way, especially on the 2.8 million acres of ONC lands. And Senator Wyden, I guess, was here recently probably talking about rolling out in the next month his proposal for managing these federal lands that are specifically, you know, they're very unique. There's only 18 counties with these lands, and so they in partnership with the House, Senator Wyden is looking to work with Walden, DeFazio, and Schrader, who have come up with an ONC trust proposal on the House side. Wyden's going to come up with something that he thinks will work on the Senate side, and hopefully out of both of those proposals we find something that people can agree upon and does something for our rural communities, because we're certainly not in a good situation right now with our flailing criminal justice systems and other services, and that's Josephine County, but we're not unique over there. We are seeing that in Curry, Coos, and I guess Jackson County's had some budget constraints that they're going to be feeling more and more so over time. So it's important that we get a plan worked out probably as soon as possible.
Now, this has been an ongoing issue, but if there's someone out there who has an idea, or you've probably heard a lot of the outrage from the citizens, but if there's something that says, hey, I have an idea, or they want to ask you a question about it, what's the best way to get you?
Well, they can contact my office, or they can send me an email. They can email the county commissioners. We are dividing our responsibilities up into different liaisonships, and mine is natural resources. And so we're pursuing a lot of different options, but just get in touch with the county and or call our office, and we'd be happy to touch base. There's really no bad ideas. We need them. This is, you know, challenging times, and if we can get these things worked out, I think we have a bright future, especially for people of our generation. One of the reasons I stepped up and got involved was the fact that, hey, I want to live here. This is beautiful. This is a great area, but there's little for you and I, people of our age, to do here. So I figured I'd get off the couch, get into the game, and see if I couldn't solve a couple things.
All right, Simon, thank you so much for
really appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. That's it for the 5 on 5 Morning News right after the break.